By the end of this video, you're going to know the 11 best herbs and medicinal plants that you can easily grow inside. I'm going to show you plants that you can grow inside that you can make tea with. I'm going to show you plants that you can cook with. I'm going to show you plants that you can eat fresh. I'm going to show you plants that you can dry or preserve to save for later when you're not feeling well. And they're all going to be highly medicinal and help to promote a healthy lifestyle. But you're going to want to make sure you watch until the end of the video, because you already know I'm saving the best for last. I'm starting out strong with one of the absolute best medicinal plants, ginger. Ginger is anti-inflammatory and it's rich in antioxidants, and so it has a number of health benefits. And it's also very effective at stopping nausea, which is definitely what I mostly use it for. Whenever I'm feeling nauseous, I eat a few pieces of dried or candied ginger, and at least for me, it is more effective at stopping nausea than pretty much anything else. And candied ginger is it's probably my favorite way to consume ginger, and it's super easy to make. Basically, just boil ginger and sugar and let it cool. And so it's fast, it's easy, and it's a great snack to have around, even if you're not feeling nauseous. So growing ginger inside is also very easy, and you can actually get it to grow from just a piece of ginger that you buy at the grocery store. You just have to make sure that it's organic, because non-organic ginger is often treated with something, I don't know what, but it's often treated to prevent it from growing. So all you need is a small piece, just like an inch or two long, but you can also just cut up a larger piece. And I would start by filling a pot with soil, watering the soil so it's wet to begin with, and then just pressing the ginger chunks down into the soil and throwing another handful of soil on top. You should be able to see nodes on the ginger, which are just basically small little bumps on the side. So you want to make sure you place those facing up, because that's where the leaves are going to start to sprout from. So ginger doesn't need a ton of light, but you definitely want to place it near a windowsill so they're at least getting some bright indirect light. And within a few weeks, they should start to grow. I've also seen nurseries selling ginger plants before. So, if you want to get a head start and buy a plant that's already growing, you can definitely do that. It shouldn't be too hard to find. But remember, you want to give the plant room to grow big roots so you can get a big piece of ginger. So consider that when you're choosing the pot. And I would probably go for a pot that's at least like 10 or 12 inches across. Then you just water them once a week, give them some nice organic fertilizer every couple waterings, and let them grow. They're, you know, a nice tropical looking plant anyways, so they're not a bad houseplant just to have around, even if they didn't have these incredible health benefits. It is going to take a little while though. You want to give the plants probably about 9 months or so to grow a nice big piece of ginger for you. So give it about 9 months, and around that time, you'll probably start to see the leaves turning yellow, which is a good sign that it's probably time to harvest. So, ginger, it's an awesome plant with really awesome medicinal value, and I can't recommend this one enough. But if you want something that's not going to take so long to make use of, I'll show you another great medicinal plant right now. Next, I'm going with tarragon, an herb that they actually call the king of all herbs in France, which is saying a lot because France is really in a lot of ways, the birthplace of fine dining. So tarragon has a ton of culinary uses and can be used when cooking chicken, fish, eggs, potatoes, as well as in salad dressings. And fresh tarragon is considered to be of much higher quality than dried tarragon when it comes to cooking. So having one growing in your home is, really a treat. But in addition to its many uses in cooking up some very fine dishes, it also has a variety of health benefits. First of all, tarragon contains many beneficial nutrients such as potassium, iron, and manganese. It can also help to keep blood sugar levels balanced, which is certainly a good thing considering how many of us Americans are diabetic or pre diabetic. And studies have shown that tarragon helps to improve sleep quality, as well as reduce inflammation and relieve pain associated with arthritis. So, I think all of us could probably benefit from a little bit of fresh tarragon in our diets, honestly. And fortunately for us, tarragon grows very well in low light conditions, meaning it's one of the best herbs to grow indoors. It's definitely possible to grow tarragon from seed, but the germination rate isn't super high, so it's probably easier to just pick up, a little small starter plant from a nursery, and I'll just plant it in a 6 or 8 inch pot, throw it in a windowsill, and you'll have some fresh tarragon in no time. And so, while tarragon is great for cooking with, if you want a medicinal plant you can make a delicious tea out of, this next one's for you. Next up is one of my all-time favorite herbs, lemon balm. Lemon balm is super easy to grow outdoors in the shade, which means that it's also a great herb to grow indoors. Personally, I just love ripping off a few leaves and just chewing on it fresh whenever I walk by the lemon balm patch, but most people like to use it to make a delicious calming tea. As the name would suggest, lemon balm smells and tastes like, you guessed it, lemon. It's nice because you can make lemon balm tea from fresh leaves, so there's no need to dry it first. If you have a bunch, though, you definitely can dry it in the microwave, in the oven, or just by hanging it in the sun. It's also nice to crush up a little and add just cold water, especially in the summertime, especially down here in Texas. A little lemon balm and that's some ice water. It's very nice. Um, so, lemon balm is best known for its stress relieving, calming effect. So it's really nice to have a relaxing lemon balm tea like at the end of the day when you get home from work or before bed. And it's also been shown to have cognitive benefits, help treat cold sores, relieve nausea and indigestion, and even help with stress related headaches. So you can't go wrong when it comes to growing some lemon balm inside your house. There's definitely something or other you'll end up using it for. Lemon balm, it's easily grown from seed, so it's as easy as putting some seeds in any old pot you've got around, putting it in the window, and you'll have plenty of lemon balm before you know it. Lemon balm is great for making a nice, relaxing tea, and this next plant I'm going to show you, though, can also be used for a nice tea, a nice soothing tea, but it's also great for cocktails. So if you'd prefer to be mixing up a liquor drink rather than a tea, stay tuned for this next plant. For plant number 4, I'm talking about mint. And down here where I live in Austin, Texas, it's starting to get super hot all the time, every single day. And so there is only one thing on my mind when it comes to mint, and that is mint juleps. Kentucky bourbon, a little sugar, a little water, a bunch of ice, and a bunch of fresh mint. I could sure go for one right about now, to be honest with you. Um, but in all seriousness, while I would love an ice cold mint julep right now, um, mint also has a ton of proven medicinal benefits. In a paper that I saw online, published in the scientific journal Molecules in 2021, mint was shown to actually prevent the development of many types of cancer cells. So it's really got very strong, healing properties. It's also antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, and anti-diabetic. So mint is a seriously very powerful medicinal plant that everyone should be growing, and it's really easy to grow. There's also a bunch of different cool types of mint. There's spearmint, peppermint, apple mint, chocolate mint, pennyroyal mint, even pineapple mint, and I'm sure there's many others that I don't even know about. So mint, it can be a little bit hard to grow from seed, so I would definitely recommend just buying a small plant from a nursery and transplanting it into a bigger pot to grow with. But fortunately, mint is a very popular herb, so it should be easy to find a bunch of different types at the local nurseries or plant stores, wherever you get plants from. So, all right, the last couple medicinal plants I've shown you have been used mostly for making drinks. So, next I'll show you another easy to grow indoor medicinal plant that you can cook with. Next, I'm going with parsley, which is both highly beneficial to living a healthy lifestyle and highly delicious. So when I think about parsley, I'm thinking about some fine Italian cooking, and more specifically, I'm thinking about meatballs. You just can't make a delicious plate of Italian meatballs without some fresh parsley. And honestly, that right there, it's all the motivation you need to start growing parsley in your home. Let's be honest. So that's it. All right, on to the next plant. Nah, just kidding. But seriously, I do love a good meatball. I wish my boy Al was here right now to cook up some nice meatballs. A little of that Rayo's marinara sauce, a little pasta. Oh boy. All right, whew, I gotta focus. So, anyways, shockingly, there are many reasons to grow parsley beyond just wanting to make some spaghetti and meatballs. Parsley is actually extremely good for you, and what I like about it is that it helps to lower blood pressure. Okay, with my kind of diet and with all those meatballs I've been eating, that's what I could use right about now, honestly. Um, but beyond lowering blood pressure, parsley is also rich in nutrients, vitamins, and antioxidants. And it's also very good for bone health, as well as helping to protect against chronic disease. So it's really a great medicinal plant to grow inside. And it's easy to grow from seed. So this is another one. You can just throw some seeds down in a pot, leave it in the window, and you'll be harvesting fresh parsley within a month or two. You can't go wrong with growing parsley indoors. So with all of these beautiful medicinal plants I've shown you so far, they've all had a ton of awesome health benefits for many different things. This next one I'm going to show you is used mainly for one thing: respiratory issues. So if you have asthma or you just want an all natural cold remedy, this next plant is definitely one you're not going to want to miss. Okay, so this next one is definitely not as well known of an herb as some of these other plants I've been talking about, but it is every bit as awesome as anything on this list. Okay, so I am talking about hyssop. Well, hyssop is rich in antioxidants, helps to lower inflammation, and also helps to treat ulcers. I've always thought of it mainly as a cold remedy. Hyssop is known to contain compounds that can help to open your airways. So it's a great plant to have around when you have a cold, or if you have asthma, or even if you just have allergies. While a lot of people like to make tea out of hyssop, my personal favorite way to take hyssop is to mix it with honey. This is how I first came to know about the plant, actually, when I saw someone selling it at the farmer's market, hyssop infused honey. Um, and it was sold as cold remedy down at the old farmer's market. And I thought it was so cool that, I knew I had to try it myself. So I got some hyssop. I started growing it. And when it was ready to harvest, I mixed it with honey. And this was like 5 years ago, and I still have some of it left. Um, Honey, it's known to stay good for hundreds of years, and I think even like thousands of years. I'm pretty sure they found some in like tombs in Egypt that was still good. I could be wrong about that, but I think I heard that. Um, so anyway, putting it in honey or putting like any herbs in honey is a great way to preserve any type of herbs or medicinal plants. Um, and then whenever you have a cold, you can just take a spoonful of the honey and you'll be feeling better in no time. So if you look online, you'll see a lot of places that say hyssop needs to be grown in full sun. Okay, so I can already see the comments now. You can't grow hyssop inside. Don't listen to this guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I got a lot of comments like that on my last video, so I'm sure we're gonna see some. Um, but can't let the haters get you down. Because I found where I live down here in Texas, hyssop cannot take that strong afternoon sun. It just can't. So I definitely think of hyssop as a part shade plant. And so as long as it's in a bright window and gets some direct sun onto it, it'll grow just fine inside. It's definitely not like some of these other plants where uh, it'll grow fine like just as long as it's near a window. it does need to be in a bright window with some direct sun on it. But as long as you can put it right in the window, it will grow just fine, and it's a great medicinal plant to grow indoors. So now we've talked about hyssop, and you know exactly what to grow if you're prone to frequent colds or you have asthma. But let's get back to some plants that have a variety of uses. I'll show you a great one right now. Next up, we've got wild bergamot, or bee balm, which is another easy to grow medicinal plant that will do really well indoors. Wild bergamot is a plant that's been used for hundreds or even thousands of years, and it's widely utilized by the Native Americans for a variety of different reasons. Like many of these plants I've talked about today, wild bergamot has anti-inflammatory properties, but its benefits don't stop there. It's known to be antifungal, antimicrobial, and antiviral. So it's another one of these medicinal plants that's great to just use all the time for general well-being. It's also known to help reduce fever, soothe sore throats, and to help aid in digestion. It's most commonly used in teas, so with its wide variety of health benefits, this is one that'd be good to just have in like a mix of various herbs to make herbal teas with that you can just utilize all the time. It's also easy to grow from seed. So as long as you have a pot and some soil laying around and a windowsill to put it in, it's a very inexpensive plant to grow. One thing to note though with wild bergamot is that the seeds do need sunlight to germinate. So you don't want to cover them with soil. You're going to want to just put a pot with some wet soil in the window and then just kind of lightly press the seeds in there. And it's as easy as that. It'll sprout in no time. All right, since these last couple plants I've talked about are used solely for their medicinal benefits, I think it's time to do another one for the chefs that are watching. So this next one is great for cooking, and of course, it also has a ton of great health benefits. Plant 8, I'm going with an all-time classic, thyme. I love the smell of thyme, and so it's a plant I like to have around just for the smell. Um, it's really a nice fragrance. And I also like to just rip off pieces and chew on them, but I'm weird, and most people probably want to actually cook something with thyme. So I'll admit I'm not the best cook, but when it comes to thyme, I like it with chicken. Thyme, it's great in a marinade with a little lemon, maybe a little garlic. Um, so if you have some chicken, just throw some chicken into a marinade with that general kind of base, and you can't go wrong, and you're gonna have some delicious chicken to cook up. But thyme, while it's great for cooking chicken, we all know that it also does have some awesome health benefits. Thyme is known to help soothe coughs, lower blood pressure, and there's even some evidence that it can help to reduce acne. So if you've got teenagers at home, you're definitely going to want to plant some thyme and just rub it all on their face every day. No, they probably won't let you do that, but it has really been shown to help with acne and all these other things. So it's just a great herb overall. Thyme is another one that's easy to grow from seed, but it is also a very popular herb, so you can find it at any plant nursery. So you can go either way with it. It's just it's easy to find, it's easy to grow. Just put it in a bright window that receives at least some direct sunlight, and it won't be hard to grow at all. So while most of these plants are ones, with the exception of ginger, they're mostly plants that you can plant and harvest within a relatively short amount of time. But this next one takes a few years to grow. So if you like a bit of a challenge, this next one is for you. Okay, so next up for medicinal plants that you can grow indoors, we're talking about ginseng. All right, so when I say that it's a bit of a challenge, what I mean is that it can take several years before it's harvested. It will take several years before you can harvest it. But it's not particularly hard to grow indoors since it is a shade-loving plant. It just takes a long time. It can take up to a year to germinate the seeds and 5 years before it's ready to be harvested. But I decided to include it on the list because when you're growing an indoor plant, you're going to be planning to keep them alive for many years anyways. When you buy a house plant, you don't buy it just assuming that it's going to die after a year or two. Or maybe you do, which in that case you need to watch more of my videos. But seriously, when you grow a house plant, the goal is to keep it alive for many years. So think of ginseng just as a house plant that you're one day going to be able to harvest and get some, medicinal benefits from. But for now, it's just a house plant like any other. And I think it looks cool anyway. So it's a good house plant. It's got these very symmetrical leaves, um, kind of with those round, they come off in a round kind of thing like that. And then they put the flowers up, those berries in the middle. Um, so I think it's just a cool looking house plant, anyways. And then after a few years, it's just an added bonus that, you get awesome medicinal uses from it. So since it takes so long to germinate, what I would do is to either try to buy one that's already sprouted, although they can be kind of expensive because it takes so long for them to germinate, or just grow it from, if you want to grow it from seed, just set the pot outside until it germinates, just set the pot outside for like a year. And then when it does sprout, bring it inside. Once it's inside, it's not hard to grow. So just put it near a window and treat it like any other houseplant. After a bunch of years, once you do get to the point of harvesting it, it can be used for cooking in stir fries, in soups, or you can just make a tea out of it. And it's got a bunch of health benefits. Ginseng is known to help boost the immune system and reduce inflammation, as well as regulate blood sugar. And it's also been known to help improve focus and concentration. And so that's why you see it in all these energy drinks. So it's a very cool plant and has a bunch of cool benefits. So if you're willing to put in the time, ginseng is a great medicinal plant to grow inside. But if you don't have 5 years to put into growing a plant, which I could understand, if you move often or just travel often and you don't have a good track record with keeping houseplants alive for that length of time, I'll show you another one right now that's not going to take quite so long. Next, we're going to talk about oregano, which is another great herb to help promote an overall healthy lifestyle and a great herb to grow inside. Oregano is packed with antioxidants, which are known to help protect the body against cancer. And it also has a very high concentration of vitamin K, which is also very, very good for your health. It's antiviral and it's anti-inflammatory, like many of these plants on the list. And it also helps to detox the body of toxins and heavy metals. So it's definitely one that you're going to want to consume as much as you can. And since it's so tasty, since it's so good, it's not going to be that hard. You can add oregano into soups and salads, as well as mini pasta dishes. But for us Americans, there's one way to easily add it to your diet, and that is as a pizza topping. Okay, so if you're anything like me, you love pizza. I'm basically addicted to eating pizza all the time. I can't stop eating it constantly. It's a real issue. No, I'm getting off track again, man. Whenever I start talking about food, I really trail off there. But yeah, it's a great pizza topping. So if you have an oregano plant in your house, you can just throw some onto the pizza whenever you order a pizza or cook up a pizza. So it's a great one to have around. And it's another plant, you do want to know, it's another plant that needs light to germinate. So if you're going to grow it from seed, don't bury the seeds, just press them into the soil and then just kind of mist them down every once in a while. And then at least until they're sprouted. Once it's sprouted, then, water them normal. Although oregano doesn't need much water. So let it dry out totally in between waterings. But other than that, just make sure it's in a bright windowsill and it'll be easy to grow inside. All right. So if you've made it this far, you are in luck, because next up we've got my personal favorite medicinal plant of all. This is the number one supplement that I take on a daily basis, and it's one of the greatest things you can possibly take to stay healthy all the time. So you're definitely going to want to start growing this one immediately. All right, my people, we've made it to the end. I said I would save the best for last, and I sure did. Turmeric. Taking turmeric is one of the absolute best things that you can do to promote a healthy lifestyle, and I try to take it every single day. I don't even know where to start with turmeric. It's got so many health benefits. It's known to be very effective at treating inflammation, meaning that it can help with arthritis, muscle soreness, headaches, and even IBS. It's also shown to help lower cholesterol and to stop the growth of cancer cells. It's also effective at protecting against viruses, including the flu. It's been shown to help protect against Alzheimer's. It's been shown to prevent acne. It's even been shown to help prevent or treat diabetes. So, I could go on all day about turmeric, and I will. No, I won't. But clearly it's a superfood, super plant with tons of health benefits. I really think that if you're going to just take one single supplement, you should take turmeric pills. You should definitely start growing some turmeric immediately, but you should also go out and get some turmeric supplements right away and just start taking them until you have your plant ready to harvest. I just can't say enough good things about turmeric. I just love it. It's really one of my favorite plants of all, and it's just a beautiful plant. So, like ginger, turmeric is going to grow a big rhizome, which is like a big fleshy root, and it's going to take a while. So make sure you put it in a big pot so it has room to grow, a big chunk. And also, like ginger, you can just grow it from a chunk. You just get a piece and grow it. So you can get some turmeric from the grocery store, or if they don't have turmeric root at your grocery store, go to maybe try a health food store, or if you can't find it, I'm sure you could just order it online. Get a chunk at least an inch or two big, and then put it a couple inches under the soil, or put it on wet soil and just throw some soil on top. Either way is fine, and just place it in a sunny window. Don't water it much until it sprouts. um, that rhizome, before it's sprouted, it is a little bit at risk of rotting if it's too wet. So just water it a little bit until it sprouts, and then once it starts to grow, it's very easy. Just water it like once a week or so, and it'll take off. So, you know, it's a nice looking plant, honestly, just to have in your house. It's another one of these ones that it's like, even if it didn't have these awesome benefits, like it's just a cool tropical looking plant and it looks nice. So that's good because, like with ginger, also, it takes a long time. It takes like 9 or 10 months to really let that thing grow big. And also, like ginger, it's going to tell you when it's ready. When it's ready to harvest, the leaves are going to start turning yellow. They're going to start to drop off. And that's when you know. It makes it easy because if you lose track of time, it will tell you when it's ready. So when it starts to yellow and drop leaves, you just dig that thing up, dig that chunk up, and you're gonna have a beautiful piece of turmeric there. So you can cook with turmeric, you can dry it and make teas, or you can just put it in the fridge and just cut off like a little slice every day or two and eat it raw. Also, when you're growing turmeric, once you harvest it, save a chunk to keep growing because it's definitely something you're going to want to grow all the time. So save a little chunk, replant that, and just you can just continuously keep growing it all the time. So that's about it, guys. Turmeric, I love it. I love all these plants on this list, and I love all of you guys. I appreciate so much all you guys watching. I received so many nice comments on my last few videos. I appreciate it so much. I love discussing these plants with you guys. So please keep commenting, keep liking, subscribing, and I'm going to be back soon with another great video. I got another great one planned. So I'll see you guys soon.